Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today has been day 21 of this year's 75 hard challenge for the winter arc. So, it's been a slower day for sure, definitely letting the body recover a lot more after the hard practice yesterday and then sore legs from all of the past week. So it's been taking it a lot easier, just focusing mainly on work around the house today. However, when we woke up, still stuck to the usual routine. Woke up, did our manifestation, prayer, meditation, goal setting. All of that was knocked out. Gotten read our 15 minutes more so that we did that self-education first thing in the morning, got the mind in the right mindset, did our weigh-in, and then did the supplements. Really solid. I love that morning routine, and I just think once we're done with provs and I don't have to worry about so much mitigating soreness, I can just push through it after that. Then I think I'm going to start bringing the cardio back first thing in the morning, making sure I get that going and up the intensity of it quite a bit. But yeah, today just spent a good fair amount of the day just helping out the family. Didn't do so much work today as I wanted to, but need to make sure, again, I'm setting a plan for tomorrow so I can attack it. But couple things I want to talk about work-wise. One, I'm getting a really solid plan done as to how I can start launching the actual fitness coaching part of things, at least to a better scale than I did before. So it is actually going to be a lot more effective, not only for me as a business, but being able to help people in other ways. So I want to do that. I'm already setting it up so I can run some free clients. And if you guys are interested, comment down below if you want to be one of the few. However, my only warning to you is it is a lot of dedication and accountability on your part for this to be able to work. I can only coach you so much. I can't actually do this stuff for you. So you have to be accountable enough to be willing to commit for over 2 to 3 months period of time at the bare minimum for this coaching to work. Okay. But again, if you guys are interested, you want to commit to that, comment down below, especially if you're someone who has a busier schedule. That's exactly my specialty. So that's exactly something I'm going to start working on. But yeah, on second note with that, just working on building into it, the content side of things, starting to get a really good idea, but just need to set in place a plan. And then also at request of one of my friends who's really been pushing me towards this, I need to start getting a podcast going, because apparently these vlog type videos where it's just a lot more of me talking and giving advice, things like that, he says it would be a lot more effective to also put it on a podcast. So if you guys are interested in that, put it down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think on that. And I know I should be planning to do it within at least the next couple of days so I can get that up and going. But yeah, if you do want to see that, let me know what kind of topics you want to hear me talk about, different things like that you want to hear me start bringing up, get my opinion on, things like that. And I'd be more than happy to start doing that. But yeah, just really need to start scheduling, I guess, more work. It's a lot easier to fall complacent on the work side when I'm sitting at home. There's nothing really pushing me to do it, which, I mean, there is and there isn't. There's always the mental drive of wanting to achieve the most possible on that, but it's a lot easier to slip out of that mindset when I'm at home, I guess. So I need to make sure I'm taking extra care to stay in the right mindset when I'm at home a lot more. But on a more productive note, organized space leads to a cleaner mind, right? And a cleaner mind, or I guess less cluttered mind, is a lot better when it comes to doing work, being productive, all sorts of things like that. And it's been a massive thing I've been doing to help my family, as I've spent probably 4 hours today working on organizing our downstairs area. So our library is getting back organized, organizing the main area, so that way we actually have spaces to be together as a family, not have to worry about it, and we can actually start doing stuff that's not in front of a screen, which I think is going to be a lot better for my family's mental health as well, especially as we're getting into winter. So really solid work on that today, and I honestly lost track of the time during working on that after supper, because I think I started working on around 6 o'clock, and I ended up looking at the time again, and it was 10. So ended up doing the workouts a bit later. But on that note, for today's workouts, did a bit of a lighter calisthenics workout, still stretched it out to be about 25 minutes long. So solid length, solid work, but I'm still trying to just take it easier in this last week leading up to provs, not risk any injury and not push anything super hard. Like, I don't want to be coming out of my workout sore, maybe a tiny little bit of feeling after, but I think my hardest day, I'm going to do one more hard long run tomorrow, and then after that just slowly ease it back down to provs, so that way we can be in the best shape possible for running it, and looking forward to that. Yeah, but for the workout tonight, we focused mainly on just calisthenic stuff, so mostly handstand stuff. I done a little bit of L-sit work this morning, just messing around outside, but it wasn't really structured part of my workout, but still did that, feeling pretty good. And then I think biggest thing I need to work on is just getting the overall strength, which I think right now I've got the stationary strength to hold it. I'm working on getting the balance and the core strength, but I need to really start working on getting the, I guess, pike position all the way and getting to press up into a handstand, because right now that's the hardest thing I'm working on. But otherwise, doing really good. I'm actually starting to be able to crank out the handstand push-ups supported against a wall, so when I get the balance to start doing it off the wall, it's going to be even better. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, so solid workout there. And then I just did a nice easy 1.5 mile recovery run, just working on maintaining my pacing tempo. I need to make sure I'm working on stride length with the same tempo when I do my run tomorrow. That's going to be a big thing to work on. And then also just making sure I'm keeping the breathing in mind with that, because inside it's a lot different than outside, especially as it's getting colder. I've got to make sure I'm maintaining that. But yeah, otherwise it's been really, really solid. And then I'm just sitting here finishing up the rest of my cardio on the bike for the night, trying to take it a lot easier on the legs, let them fully recover before the run tomorrow. Do that last one, and then, like I said again, excuse me, take it easy for the rest of the week. But still going to do my cardio and stuff every day. It's just going to be a lot easier than I normally would be doing. So yeah, just need to make sure I'm spreading it out more throughout the day too as well. I think that'll be something that'll help a little bit more. I need to start getting a better sleep routine for this last week. But yeah, otherwise though, really, really solid day in that regard. And then nutrition again, like I planned yesterday. Today is a much higher protein day, focused on super, super high protein in breakfast and then lunch throughout the day. Ended up having a really nice supper as well, and just hitting that protein goal right on the mark where I want it to be. So should be recovering quite nicely, putting on a little bit more muscle in this last week, and then just looking to maintain or maybe even drop that weight just a hair more before provs. But otherwise it's been really, really good, hitting it right on the mark. So yeah. And then posting we got done today ended up being a lot later, so I need to make sure I'm doing some a little bit earlier in the day as well. Maybe plan that out on days where I'm not going to be doing a whole lot, at least away from the house. And then yeah, and then wasn't really any massive risk today, unfortunately. There's minor stuff based on opinion, but again, with family and being at home, it's a lot harder to do risks like that. So it's a lot more so just sharing with you guys, being open in that sense where I normally wouldn't, and being able to try and help you in ways that I normally wouldn't be comfortable with, I guess. Because I'm used to coaching people that I'm friends with or used to helping, but it's different when you're actually talking and starting to help people who you don't know, and you have to start a completely new relationship and build that trust whilst already trying to coach them at a level as if you already had it built. So I think that's something that I'm definitely going to have to work on as it gets into it, and stop trying to seem like some condescending person who's just well above you and trying to tell you what to do. I need to actually come across on the coaching side, right? Which it shouldn't be too hard. Cadets has given me a really good experience in that sense, where I can have that level of experience and expertise and be able to coach it in a really good way. But I need to be able to start building that relationship a lot faster than I normally would. So just something I think that's a note for myself to work on. But yeah. Otherwise though, it's, especially when it comes to the coaching side of things, I think I've been progressing my knowledge a lot better. In that sense, I did a little bit more research on that today as well, and just trying to diversify who I'm getting it from. But my main one right now is Sam Millsap, because he's absolutely incredible when it comes to that stuff. So I think one of the biggest takeaways I'm having from him that I've lacked before is the necessity of having a specific niche, or not so much a niche, but just an ideal client. Because I didn't have that before. I'm just trying to market anyone trying to lose weight, and it's not specific enough, honestly. It's not calling people out individually who are having specific problems. It's not using my skill sets to my advantage. So I think, quite honestly, being able to take advantage of the fact that I'm used to working out and getting all this stuff done, not only with a much higher level of discipline and consistency than most people are used to, but also doing it especially under a time constraint, or having to prioritize that as well as multiple other things. That's going to be my biggest asset, because previous years especially, this year not as much, but I can start upping it even more, is being able to get your workouts and prioritize your nutrition whilst being extremely busy. Because to give you guys a bit of backstory on that, I think grade 11 for me was probably my busiest year, where within that year, from September to June, I was working out every single day. I went for a run almost every single day, prioritized recovery every single day, and the reason I had to do that is I had volleyball from September to, I think, late November, basketball from early November all the way until, I think, end of February, mid-March, then track from mid-March all the way till the end of June, and then I was also doing marksmanship at the same time from, I think it started early November up until April that year, and then same thing with biathlon, except from start of September up until May, I want to say. But being busy like that, those are just the sports I was doing, and that's taking up over a third of my week easily, because you ended up with playing that many sports, especially doing two at the same time. I ended up having practices almost every single day, or games or tournaments, something like that. And I would end up having to do my own training as well with that, and learning really how to mitigate effectively working out so that I'm putting on muscle, as well as the athletic performance side of things, and then making sure I have my recovery and nutrition dialed in so that I wasn't burning out during practices and things like that. And that was something that year was a lot of trial by fire and straight up learning curve when it came to that type of thing, but it's been absolutely monumental in how much it's changed my mindset and ability to do that. And then to go along with that, that was also one of my first years being our squadron's main instructor and leader, so I had to prioritize all those different things along with school. So there's not a whole lot of time in the day when you have travel time and that stuff to take into account as well. I probably ended up with an hour, maybe two of free time every day, which is not a lot, and that ended up being taken up a lot of the time by recovery. So like my typical daily routine in that time frame would be wake up between 5:30 and 6, do some sort of a morning run or early morning workout, have breakfast, head in if you didn't have a morning practice, and then school from, call it 8:30 till I think 11:30, do a 45-minute workout in the weight room or a bit of a basketball workout depending what season you're in, and then school from about 12:30 until 3:30, then either have a practice right after school, or that would be my time to do a little bit of recovery, studying, and eat, and then I have a practice after. It was the other way around, and then it would be either cadets afterwards, where I'd have to be going and instructing all night and end up getting home around probably 10:30, having to get straight to bed, or if it wasn't cadets, it was likely a game night, and that ended up going pretty late as well sometimes. So it was just a whole lot of learning and that, but honestly, that experience and then just being able to combine it with more and more knowledge when it comes to the fitness side of things, I think sets me up perfectly to be able to help people who are on a really, really time-constrained schedule to start hitting their goals fitness-wise based on looks and athleticism and performance. Those are the biggest factors in my books when it comes to fitness. So if I could do it at 16 years old, and again, at 14 years old, I was still doing the same thing. I wasn't playing basketball at the same time, but I was still doing the 4 other sports, and all of that, it's still, like, I went through probably 4 or 5 years of being very, very time constrained and still managing to absolutely change my physique and change my life in that sense. So it's just a matter of priorities in that book. So I want to leave you guys with a quote this evening. If you are the main character of your own book and someone opens it up Are they going to keep reading past the page you're on right now? If it picks up exactly where you are in your day right now, and they only read the first 3 to 5 sentences of your book in life exactly where you are right now, that's the beginning. Are they going to shut the book and go, well, damn, this is boring? Because I guarantee you, 99% of the people watching this, that's exactly what it would be. There's the very few amount of people who would be doing something that they actually want to see the transformation that's happening, the growth of the person, or they want to see the adventure that plays out. If you're not chasing one of those 3 things, be it adventure, self-growth, or actual transformation, you need to do something else and find yourself a purpose. Because those are the 3 main things. If you're not chasing one of those 3 main things, I highly doubt you have a good purpose in life. So, figure out what it is. Once you do, chase it relentlessly, and that is exactly how you're going to start finding the key to achieving your dream life. Otherwise, I'm going to call the video there. As usual, subscribe if you guys are loving the content, want to keep following along on the journey. Like the video, share it with someone who needs to see it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.